We're going to continue to expand globally.
Andy Byron, CEO of a billion-dollar AI company, and Kristen Cabot, his head of human resources, were seen shrinking in panic at the concert.
Play stupid games, win stupid prizes.
You know that moment when you're watching reality TV and you start yelling at the screen because the drama is just that wild? Yeah, this isn't that. It's worse because it's real life. Imagine this. You're halfway across the globe on a work trip. Your phone's on silent. You're living your calm, successful life. And then, boom! Your wife appears on the jumbotron at a Coldplay concert wrapped in the arms of her boss. Not just any boss, a married CEO of a billion-dollar tech company. The video hits the internet before your plane even lands. Twitter's on fire, TikTok's remixing the footage with clown music, and Reddit has already launched a full-blown investigation. Your marriage is now the punchline of every group chat in America. Welcome to the Coldplay Kiss Cam scandal, 2025's most unhinged viral moment. Let's rewind.
Seemed like they did not want to be seen. Well, the two people appear to be the CEO of a software development firm and his head of HR.
It's early July. Gillette Stadium in Boston is packed. 65,000 fans, Coldplay's on stage, the crowd's electric. Then comes the Kiss Cam. You know the drill, pan, zoom, smooch. But this time, it lands on two people who don't look like strangers. Kristen Kitt, Chief People Officer at Astronomer, and Andy Byron, the company's billionaire CEO. They're smiling, leaning in, and then it gets weird. Kristen flinches like she saw a ghost. Andy panics and ducks like a guilty teenager. And then, Chris Martin, mid-concert, pauses to roast them. Either they're having an affair, he says to the crowd, or they're just really shy. Cue the laughter, cue the screenshots, and cue the chaos. That single moment was the spark. What followed was a digital inferno.
They have not commented on the incident.
Listen, viva la vida, but with losing people, like, what are you doing? Head of HR.
Head of HR.
Yeah, and the CEO. What are you guys doing?
Within hours, social media sleuths had it all. Their full names, job titles, LinkedIn profiles, wedding photos, nothing was off limits. People analyzed the body language like it was a crime scene. Voiceovers, slow motion replays, parodies using mascots, it was relentless. But this wasn't just a viral clip. This was two high-powered executives, both married, caught in 4K. Worse? They weren't just coworkers, they were leaders. Kristen was head of HR, the very person responsible for preventing workplace relationships, caught canoodling with her boss. You can't make this stuff up. But behind the viral memes, two families were imploding. And the man blindsided by it all, Kristen's husband Andrew, was watching the life he built unravel in real time from the other side of the planet. He didn't post, he didn't rant, he just waited. Because he knew this was about to go from kiss cam to courtroom.
Yeah, because he just realized how many millions of dollars he lost.
Yeah, exactly. Well, here's the thing, it's like, if he didn't freak out, no one would have any idea that this had happened.
True.
While the internet turned Kristen Kitt and Andy Byron into punchlines, the real wreckage was unfolding offline, behind closed doors, in deleted posts, and inside a house that had just been bought 5 months earlier. Because this wasn't just a scandal, it was a betrayal detonated in front of millions. And the man who took the biggest hit? Kristen's husband, Andrew Kitt. Let's be clear, Andrew isn't some clueless bystander in a rom-com gone wrong. He's the CEO of Privateer Rum, a premium spirits company with deep roots in New England. He comes from the Cabot family, a legacy name with old money, and a reputation for staying out of the tabloid mess. In 2022, he and Kristen tied the knot. Partners in life and business, Kristen was even on the advisory board of his company. Just months before this circus, they bought their dream home together for $2.2 million in coastal New Hampshire. It was supposed to be their forever house. Instead, Andrew found himself watching his marriage implode from halfway across the world. He was in Japan for work when the Coldplay footage exploded. No warning, no whisper of trouble, just viral confirmation on a 100-foot stadium screen that his wife was cuddled up with her boss. And not just any boss, the billionaire CEO she worked under every day. Andrew said nothing publicly, no press statements, no dramatic Instagram posts, just silence. A silence that spoke louder than any tweet.
I think cheating is an abomination, okay? And this man has a wife, he has children, these kids are gonna have to watch and see this. They don't look, I would be devastated if I was his wife.
You do have to think about the children and the spouses. We're all laughing about it, but they're all families and stuff.
There are a lot of them.
Meanwhile, Kristen vanished. She deleted her LinkedIn. Her Instagram went dark. No explanation, no apology, Just a disappearing act that had people wondering, was she embarrassed, hiding, or being coached by crisis PR? The only thing louder than the public speculation was the legal silence coming from Andrew's side, because while the memes were flying, he was quietly meeting with lawyers, not to vent, but to act. And now it's official. According to court documents obtained by reporters, Andrew Kitt has filed for divorce. Not speculation, not a source close to the matter, real paperwork, real lawyers. And reportedly, he's not holding back. Sources close to Andrew say this isn't a wish you well kind of split. It's scorched earth. He's gunning for the house, the assets, and possibly even scrubbing her influence from his business. Because for Andrew, this wasn't just about cheating. It was about public humiliation, betrayal on a global scale, and the gut punch of watching your wife's face become a meme while you're still rebooking your flight home. Kristen, once a rising corporate star, is now at the center of a firestorm she can't seem to put out. And while she's posting vague healing quotes online, the damage is already done. This isn't just a breakup, it's a full-blown takedown. One jumbotron moment turned a marriage, a career, and a reputation to ash. And Andrew? He's done playing nice. While Kristen Kitt was ghosting the internet and Andrew Kitt was preparing for war, the man at the center of it all, Andy Byron, was watching his empire slip through his fingers. Just days before the Coldplay concert, Byron was riding high. As CEO of Astronomer, a billion-dollar AI software firm, he had just wrapped a $93 million funding round. His name was being floated for leadership awards, TED Talks, maybe even a book deal. And then, one 15-second kiss cam clip sent it all crashing down. Let's not sugarcoat it, Byron didn't just get caught, he got exposed. The stadium footage showed him cuddling up to Kristen, not in a drunken slip-up kind of way, but in a way that screamed familiarity. The kind of body language you don't share with a colleague, unless something's going on. The kind that doesn't just whisper affair, it bellows it across 65,000 people, and millions more online. The internet immediately connected the dots. Byron wasn't just Kristen's boss, he was her direct superior, and both were married, Kristen to a legacy CEO, Byron to Megan Byron, a woman who up until then had kept a low profile. But when the clip exploded, Megan did the one thing that said everything. She vanished, scrubbed social media, removed his last name, and according to insiders, she's out. The fallout at Astronomer came fast. The board held an emergency meeting, and within 48 hours, Byron had tendered his resignation. But let's be real, this wasn't a resignation. This was a board firing him with velvet gloves. The official statement said, "Our leaders are expected to embody the highest ethical standards. That standard was not met." Translation, you embarrassed the company on a global scale. You're done. Insiders say the board was furious, not just because of the scandal, but because it exposed a complete breakdown in internal ethics, under the nose of the HR director, no less. Investors panicked. Employees were livid. Imagine going to work Monday morning and finding out your CEO and head of HR were the stars of a viral cheating video. Morale cratered, trust evaporated. And Andy? He's trying to rebrand. Quietly, of course, rumors are swirling that he's exploring new startups or consulting roles in AI. But let's be honest, who's booking him now? You can't preach company culture after nuking your own with a kiss. His personal life is even more radioactive. Megan isn't talking, but sources say she's focused on the kids and cutting legal ties. The emotional damage? Irreparable. His family life shattered, his leadership rep gone, his marriage likely over, and all because of one moment of arrogance on a summer night in Boston. Andy Byron went from visionary tech mogul to walking PR disaster in under 24 hours. And the worst part? He might still be seeing Kristen. That rumor's starting to circulate. And if it's true, this story's about to get even messier. After weeks of silence, Kristen Kitt finally reemerged. But not with an explanation, not with an apology. No, she returned to the internet the same way influencers do after a brand deal goes south, with vague, Pinterest-style healing quotes. Her first post back? Growth is uncomfortable. Not everyone will understand your journey. Girl, what? The internet didn't buy it. Comments immediately flooded in like a digital tsunami. You weren't misunderstood, one user wrote. You were on the jumbotron. It wasn't just snark. It was outrage. Kristen wasn't just a random executive. She was the head of HR at a billion-dollar company. Her job was literally to enforce workplace ethics. And yet, there she was, cozied up to her boss on a stadium screen during Fix You. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Memes exploded across platforms. One viral tweet called her the referee who joined the opposing team mid-game. Another said, when your HR rep is the HR violation. But as the backlash grew, something even more jaw-dropping started swirling. The rumor that Kristen and Andy Byron were still seeing each other. Yes, after the viral scandal, after the resignations, after the marriages detonated, they may still be involved. It's the kind of rumor that seems too wild to be true, and yet, multiple sources inside Astronomer claim they've heard it from people close to the couple. No photos, no confirmation, but the whispers are loud enough to trend. Meanwhile, Astronomer is deep in crisis control. With both top execs gone, employees are reportedly furious. Not just about the scandal, but about the company's culture being exposed like an open wound. One employee posted anonymously on Blind. How do we trust leadership when our HR director was breaking every rule in the handbook? Investors aren't laughing either. They're demanding answers about how a scandal like this got so far and how leadership failed to prevent it. And let's be real, Kristen's career is toast. Her name is now SEO poison. You can't Google her without the Coldplay scandal being the first 20 results. She was once a rising star in corporate leadership circles. Now, she's a walking HR case study. Every job interview, every panel invite, every future leadership opportunity overshadowed by one moment of bad judgment caught on camera. And yet, she's still online, still posting wellness mantras, still acting like this is a misunderstanding instead of a full-blown professional implosion. Maybe it's damage control, maybe it's denial. But either way, the internet isn't forgiving, because this isn't just about office gossip, it's about betrayal, hypocrisy, and the arrogance of thinking no one would ever find out. Unfortunately for Kristen, everyone did find out. And the camera didn't just catch a kiss, it caught the collapse of a carefully curated life. And now that the internet has a grip on the story, it's not letting go anytime soon. So now we're here. 2 resignations, 1 confirmed divorce, a shattered company, and a social media firestorm that still hasn't died down. You'd think the Coldplay Kiss Cam saga would have burned itself out by now. But nope. This isn't just a scandal, it's a slow-motion car crash with a front row seat. And if you think it's over, think again. Let's start with the legal side. Andrew Kitt isn't just walking away, he's reportedly going for everything. Not just the $2.2 million dream home or the joint assets. Word is, he's even exploring how to cut Kristen out of his business. Remember, she sat on the advisory board of his premium rum company. That door slammed shut. This isn't a separation, this is a surgical removal. Strategic, unapologetic, and backed by real attorneys. And we haven't even seen the court hearings yet. Divorce filings are just the beginning. With this much money and public embarrassment involved, we're looking at potential depositions, asset disputes, maybe even sealed documents leaking to the press. Someone's going to spill eventually. A podcast appearance? A Netflix docuseries? Don't be surprised. Then there's Megan Byron, Andy's wife and the only one who stayed completely silent. But her actions? Loud. She scrubbed his last name, disappeared from social media. And insiders say she's lawyering up. With kids involved and millions in family assets, this could get ugly real fast. And make no mistake, if either of these women decides to speak publicly, game over. One interview could nuke what's left of Kristen and Andy's reputations. Meanwhile, the internet hasn't forgotten. Reddit sleuths are still connecting dots, tracking deleted posts, and rewatching the concert footage like it's the Zapruder film. TikTok creators are remixing the moment daily, adding slow-mo filters, fake subtitles, comedy sketches. It's become a cultural artifact. One user even joked, "This isn't a scandal, it's a cinematic universe." And Kristen? Her career in HR is finished. There's no way to spin this. You can't lecture on ethics when your most viral moment is breaking every rule in the handbook. No boards inviting her to speak, no companies trusting her with internal policy. Her name's now synonymous with the very scandals she was supposed to prevent. It's not just reputational damage, it's a professional extinction event. Andy Byron, he might try to make a comeback in the tech world, maybe consulting, maybe starting another startup, but the stigma sticks. Investors Google, clients remember, and screenshots live forever. You don't get to rebuild culture credibility when you became a meme for torching it live at a Coldplay show. So what's next? That's the question. Lawsuits? Leaks? Anonymous Reddit AMAs? We're watching a scandal that refuses to die because the story isn't finished. There's still fallout coming, the kind that drips out slowly, painfully. And trust us, when the next chapter hits, the internet will be ready. Because this wasn't just a scandal, it was a legacy burner.